Today's a huge step for us. We're getting the Airstream new tires. We have no idea how old these tires are, and our original driver who picked it up from Indiana actually refused the delivery because the tires were so dry rotted. They've held air this whole time, so we're confident that the wheels are good, but we're gonna go get new tires for it. We're going with the Goodyear Endurance tires because from what our research says, that's the one to get. We haven't moved this thing in months. The last time we moved this was when we put the solar panels on. We did not have our walls up. We've added so much weight. Hopefully it goes well. We'll find out.
And now for a tour. You're also gonna get a few sneak peeks of what's to come.
We've got dirty rags on the floor. Some items protected over here. None of these actually have locks on them, except this one.
No, this one just has locking drawer slides. This doesn't even have a magnet holding it on.
That's right.
They might open up. We're not going far though. We're only going into the driveway to level out. We'll see what happens.
We have a basket up here with some goodies. We've got a magnet here that I'm curious if these items will survive. We've got the sink. We've got our upper with spices. I doubt that's gonna go anywhere. We also added an upper back here, and it looks pretty sturdy, so I'm not too worried. We've got doors, and I taped this up just because I'm a little worried. This is what we're working with. This is not Velcroed down. Everything else should be sturdy. This is tambour, so no worries there.
This is so much nicer than our other step. We actually have a discount code for you guys down in the description, so if you want to check out Torklift, this new step is awesome. All right, let's just see what happens.
Ready to move this day.
All right, everything looks pretty good. Now it's time to disconnect the trailer and remove the tires. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure how to jack this up. You're not supposed to jack up on the axles on these trailers, and I have the belly pan mostly on, so I'm not entirely 100% sure where the frame is, but I'm gonna figure it out as I go.
All right.
Nothing opened?
Everything's intact. Nothing opened.
Great.
Woo!
It's so weird being like this distance from the ground. In case you guys missed it, we rerouted our DC to DC charger on the belly pan here, and then we also have the pump, exhaust, and the air intake for our diesel heater under here as well. We've got our diesel tank, and this is where the heater takes diesel from. So this is the driver's side. Our front tire looks very deflated, but the back one looks pretty good. These are the passenger side ones. You can tell they are deflated, and they're pretty bad.
We actually have our original 1972 Airstream. Yeah, I said 1972. We found out this is actually 72. We've been calling it 73 for a year. I don't know why we thought that, but here is the jack positions. The hydraulic jack, if you're gonna jack it up, you wanna jack it up just behind the rear axle on the frame rail. There's a little aluminum piece that was on the belly pan that marked the spot. I lost the piece, I didn't put it back on, so I don't actually exactly know where it is, but I'll figure it out. Come on, baby. That looks like about right. So I did take this whole shell apart and redid the frame, and this is about where I took it off and jacked it up the first time, but that was just the frame and there was no shell, so we've added at least 1,000 pounds of shell plus all the building materials, which is probably like, I don't know, maybe another 1,000 pounds or so. My plan is to just jack it up just enough to take the tire off, replace the jack with the jack stand, and then just kind of work my way all around. So one of the cool things about a dual axle trailer is even if I were to remove just this one tire, I could put all the weight on that and it would be fine. How many spiders do you think are under here?
So many.
Come on, baby. Oh yeah. 2 down, 2 to go. It's just tiring.
There's tire number 1, tire number 2. There's Matt. Those 2 axles were replaced last year when we first got the frame and Matt was redoing this entire thing. The blue wires are the trailer wires for the brakes. Once all of this is on jack stands, we're not going to go inside at all because we don't want to put unnecessary pressure on the trailer because, again, this is the first time we're moving her. We don't know how much she weighs yet, and we're really hoping that we are underweight. I think we are. We've been very conscious about it. It's really funny because since this side is always on the side of the house, we never really filmed this side of the Airstream, but we have some updates. We have gravity fill, which we just kind of refurbished, and we're using that for our plumbing. This is the city water inlet. This is our bathroom window, and you can see the cover I put on it. Oh, I didn't do a very good job. Nothing I can do about it now.
All right, that's the last one. New tire time, new tire time, new tire time.
I absolutely hate the smell of new tires. It's just, bleh.
They inflated them to 80 PSI, which is way too heavy. But we're gonna lower them down to probably about 60 PSI.
These tires are really nice, but the wheels. It's a bit of surface rust.
Wow, the spider made it the whole, whoa, there's like a family of spiders in this one. There you go, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's a bunch of spiders. Wow, Megan, they're coming to get you.
Coming to get you.
Oh, they are probably coming to get me. I'm gonna put the tires back on now. So I'm just gonna jack them up, plop them on, zip them on, and I will torque them down when I actually know what the proper torque specs are. I only needed to be just high enough to slip this underneath. It is crazy how early it gets dark. You know, you'd think after 32 years I would just kind of know it's daylight savings time and it's winter. But man, it always sucks.
Well, it's dark and our camera is running out of battery and our batteries are in there. So we're gonna catch you tomorrow and all 4 wheels will be on.
So the belly pan's completely done and I installed a brake controller in Big Mama. So this is our brake controller here. When the trailer's connected, this automatically turns on and I can adjust the settings based on how much the trailer weighs and how much brakes we need. And I did my best to try to keep it neat and everything, but I didn't really want to drill through all this and do a whole lot. So I don't really care how it looks, I just care how it functions, and that's kind of the method of today.
So we do have a temporary registration, so we can take this on the road. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. To be able to get our permanent registration, we need a VIN verification, and to get a VIN verification, we need to take it to an emissions testing place, Matt's been working hard to get all of the electrical things set up and all of the trailer wiring hooked up. I think there's a problem with our car, so we'll figure that out and get on the road lickety split. I think so. Stop! A little more. Stop! Okay.
I am so unbelievably glad that we have working trailer brakes, working lights, and everything's ready to go. I'm still gonna install some airbags on Big Mama to help with a bit of the sag, and then and we're ready to go get this thing registered, VIN verified, everything. It's gonna be sick. We are so close to being done with this project and on the road. Oh my god, I cannot believe it.
There.
Part of me doesn't want this project to end, and then the other part of me is so glad that we were about to be done, because this has been such an incredibly long year. I don't think I've ever worked as hard for anything in my entire life.
Me neither.
This has definitely pushed me past any point I could have ever imagined, physically, mentally, freaking emotionally, everything. What a roller coaster this restoration's been. Also, check out the paint job on Mom's steps that I did. In order to safely tow our Airstream, we needed to upgrade our 2006 Toyota Sequoia just a little bit. And to beef her up, I added in some helper airbags from Airlift. This basically adds an extra bit of suspension and stiffness, so that way when we're towing, the back end is not so squatted. Like if you've seen us when we connect, you can see that the front of the truck kind of lifts up a little bit and the back sags down. This just helps add up to 1,000 pounds of added tow weight. I put the airline inlet right here, so anytime we need to air up when we're gonna tow, I just easily open up the trunk, pop in the air compressor, fill it up to probably about 25 PSI, and then I'm able to lift up the truck, and then when we're not towing, I can easily just let the air out through the same valve and not have such a bouncy, stiff suspension. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So right now, we're at 0 PSI. Come on, there we go. Watch right here. This is a really easy and cheap way that I was able to add an extra bit of suspension to Big Mama. So now we're pretty much ready car-wise to do it. I just have to torque down the wheels on the Airstream. I went to the mechanic a couple weeks ago and they did a full thorough inspection of Big Mama and they said she's great. And when we're not towing, we can easily deflate it back to its normal ride height. When we bought these tires, the Goodyear techs just inflated them to the max PSI of 80 PSI, which does two things. It allows us to carry more weight up here, but it also makes it a much stiffer ride. I'm going to lower these down to 65 PSI as our starting pressure, and we're going to adjust from there depending on how the ride feels. The very last thing I have to do to these wheels is to torque them to their proper torque specs. We still need to finish building out the inside of the Airstream before we're actually ready to hit the road, so be sure to subscribe to watch the rest of the series. We'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.